Welcome to our video on using Explain Everything. Now, Explain Everything is a great app. You can use it for lots of different projects and presentations. You can also use it if you want to do an instructional video. So here are some uses for Explain Everything. So projects, presentations, making instructional videos, or anything else where you're going to want to teach someone else something. This is a wonderful app, and the neatest thing about it is that you can upload from this application directly to YouTube, and that makes it really simple because you can put it right into YouTube and use it as an assignment, turn it in, whatever it is that you need to do. And so that makes it really, really fun to use, and there's really no limit because you can incorporate any pictures and video that you want to into this application, and it's really easy to use. In fact, Khan Academy is created using this application, which is a wonderful instructional video site that is available through YouTube and now through apps and iPad as well. So let's go on. So the first thing that I want to show you is how to add a slide. So right here, you see this button with a little paper on it with a plus sign, and that is where you're going to add your slides. So when you want to add a slide, you're just going to click on that. It's going to add a slide. You'll see the slides at the bottom. They increase in number as you add more and more slides. My suggestion is to kind of map out what it is you want to do and how you want your presentation to look, and then add as many slides as you're going to need, because if you do it while you're recording, it's really, really tough to be able to accurately talk and add things at the same time. So if you know that you're going to talk about 15 different topics, then go ahead and add 15 slides, and you can go in beforehand just like I did with this video presentation, and you can add your pictures beforehand. So that way they're already in there and you're not fumbling with how to get those pictures added quickly and trying to find something to talk about while you're waiting for everything to upload. So just this button here, hit it as many times as you need to add slides. You can always delete them later if you need to. Now on our next slide, we want to talk about writing on a slide. So I'm going to go and I'm going to hit this pencil app right here, and that's how I'm going to write on my slides, is by tapping on that. And then it's best if you use a stylus. If you use your finger, and I'll show you, it can come out a little messy unless you have pretty decent handwriting. So sometimes it's easier if you just use a stylus, because it comes out a little bit neater. It's not as difficult to use, and it's kind of like writing with a pen. You can also change your colors. So for instance, I have other colors, so I have pink on here. And as you start your presentation, you can choose a color scheme, and you can also change your colors. If you don't like the colors that they give you, there's a way to change your colors, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. So, and I also have like a light blue, which is kind of close to my white. Alright, we also have a text button. So right here, where you see the letter A, that's your text button. So if you hit that button and then tap in your screen, anywhere in your screen in here, okay, all in this area, it's going to bring up your keyboard, and then you can just type as if you were typing normally. And you can type anything you want, and it's going to just add text for you. You can also choose your text alignment here, which is kind of nice. So you can decide if you want to have a left, center, or right alignment for whatever you're typing into your slide at the time. Now this is where we're going to start looking at how to insert objects. How are we going to put things into our presentation? So I'm not just looking at a black screen or a white screen with a bunch of writing on it. I can make it a lot more interesting and really colorful and fun to look at. For the purposes of this video, I took screenshots for you, and the way that you take a screenshot is if you just push your start button on your iPad and your home button at the same time, it automatically takes a screenshot and saves it in your photo file. So if you want to take a screenshot of something so you can teach somebody how to do something like what I'm doing, it's really easy to do, and it doesn't take much. Like I said, just hit your start button and your home button at the same time, and it'll click and it will take that picture and file it right into your photos. Now here, when I hit the button, it's this paper with the plus on it. And when I hit that button, it's going to pop up a toolbar for me, and I can make a decision as to what things I want to use. I can use an existing photo or video that's already stored in my camera files or in my photo roll. And if I use a video, it will play through the whole video, and I don't have to hit record again. I just have to make sure it's recording while the video is going. But say I'm doing a project on Genghis Khan and I want to add pictures of Genghis Khan and talk about him, then I can take those photos off of Google or any other search engine, put them into my photo files, and then I can import those photos out of my photo files, which makes it pretty cool. I can also use a file, so if I have a file already saved somewhere else on my iPad, I can click on that and it will give me the option of going to where it is. I can open a browser window and go find a photo that way, or I can take a whole new picture. So if I'm doing a project at home about my family and I want to take a picture of my family really quickly and add to my presentation, I just click new picture, it opens up my camera window, I take a shot with my camera just like I normally would, and then I'm done. Or I can also take a new video the same way. It's pretty easy to do. Now, once those are in my, once I hit yes that I want to upload and I've found the one that I want, it's going to put me in this screen here, which is an edit image screen. And I can turn my image by using this, or I can put lines around it, I can size it, I can crop, or I can go, oh, I don't want that, and I can reverse it, or I can cancel altogether over here. All right, and when I'm finished, I want to make sure, really important, when you're finished putting in your photo, you want to click the done button. So the done button explain everything, that I'm finished putting in that image and I'm ready to go. So once I do that, the screen will flicker a little bit and then it's going to pop back over into the regular screen. So that way I can see exactly what I'm doing and I can have the use of all of my cool little tools on my toolbar. That would be all of these here, okay? Alright, I told you before that we can change the colors. So, Explain Everything gives you a set of color schemes that they've come up with that kind of match what they think should go together. So the black screen comes up with a nice white and a purple and a blue, and but if I don't like that, I can go right over here. If I hold down, okay, so we're going to hold down on the color for about 2 seconds. And once that happens, this bar will pop up. And I can pick any color on here. And I can either pick the preset colors, which are these right here. I can change how heavy the color is. Or I can go up into a color wheel and pick any color that I want. So it makes it really nice because I can be in charge of this and I can have it however I like. And so I encourage you to play with it, come up with color schemes that you enjoy. Don't just use the presets because then it can get kind of boring. So it's a lot more fun if you get to create the whole thing on your own. Okay, so for our next one, what we're going to talk about is how we're going to reverse our edits. So if I edited something or I put something in, I'm going to hit that button right there if I did it wrong, okay? If I decided, hey, that's not exactly how I wanted it, I want something different, I can come right in there and I can reverse it. That's also great if you accidentally delete something that you really didn't want to delete. You can go right in, edit that back, and it'll pop it right back in, just as if you were using the reverse button in any of the Microsoft products or any other type of application that uses the writing and templates. Alright, another thing that we want to make sure of is this. This button right here, the X button, if I click on that X button, it's going to, and then I click on the center of anywhere in here, then I'm going to see a little X appear up here, and when that does, if I hit that X, it will take away everything that's on that page. So if I've inserted a photo and I've decided I don't want to use that photo, I want something else, I just click on the X, tap in the center and hold on to it. When it starts to shake, so it's going to shake a little, then I'm going to click on this X up here and it's going to erase it. It's going to be gone. Erased. Okay? Okay, so it'll totally take it away. And then I can start over again. Alright, another way to erase, so if I've been doing stuff and I don't like what I've got in here, under the X button, if you don't have it up, you also might see up there an eraser, and it's kind of like this, and it's white on one end and pink on the other, and that's for you just to erase text. So, for instance, I can draw something and say I wrote word on this, and I go, oh man, I spelled that wrong. I want to go and erase that. So I'm going to click on the eraser, and then I can erase, and then I click back on my color, and I can write that. I can correct that. Okay? So that's all that there is to erasing. It's really simple. Now, our next thing that we're going to talk about is something kind of fun that I enjoy with this. If I hit this button here, here we go, that button right there, and I go to it, I can actually make really cool laser effects. And so if I want to highlight a word or something like that, now I can't write while I'm doing that. So if I want to write, I'm going to have to click back over. I'm going to have to click back over to my colors, so then I can write something. And then if I want the laser, I can click back on the laser, and then I'll get the laser. And maybe I want to go, oh, we want to emphasize that word. That word's really important to me in my presentation, so I want you to pay more attention to it. So I'm going to circle it a couple of times, okay? And so you can do that, make your presentation really vibrant, really call attention to those parts of it that you really want people to see. Alright, now we're going to talk about recording a little bit. Recording is the most important part, because if you don't record, you're not going to end up with a video. So this is our record button right here. Let me click back over my color. This is our record button right here. So when you're ready to record, you're going to go ahead and hit that button. Now, if you preloaded your slides like I suggested, then you can just click through your slides as you're recording. It makes it really simple to do, and that way you don't have a lot of hassle of, oh no, now I have to go back and add a new slide and start my recording over again. So it makes your presentation a little bit more fluid. So as you're recording, each slide right here will give you a timer. Now the time is not for your entire presentation. It's only for the time on that particular slide, because the way Explain Everything works is it doesn't compress all of your slides together until the end when you get ready to export. That's when it compresses it together. Otherwise, it leaves it in photo format in case you want to move it out as just a single photo. So if you wanted to move a slide out as just a single photo, then it still gives you that option, and you're not stuck with having this whole video that you can't pull apart. So remember, when you see the time moving down here, that's for that slide. So if I tell you a 5-minute presentation, that's all the slides together. So if you had 15 slides, well, they're not going to need to be that long for each one of them to fill up that whole 5 minutes. So keep an eye on that. You do lose time when you're doing this, so just make sure to watch that. It's really easy to fill up these slides really fast with a lot of recording. Now, our next thing that we're going to talk about is how we're going to export photos. Now, if you see here, I have this little button right there, which it has the little photo icon on it with the mountains, and it has an arrow, and that tells me that that's how I can export a photo that I have in here. So say I put in this picture, I wrote all this stuff on it, I've got this great slide, I really like it, I think it would make a good addition to like a PowerPoint or something in my Pages or Doceri, and I want to keep it, and I don't want to have it exported as just a video that's all stuck together. So I can export each page individually into my camera roll. I can send it to somebody's email. I can PDF it to iBooks, or if I have other applications like Dropbox or Evernote, I have the choice of actually exporting that photo straight into those things. So if I want you to turn something into me in Dropbox and I just want the photo, you can send it straight to a Dropbox. And it just asks you for the address of the Dropbox, you put it in, and bam, it sends it right off for you. So that's a pretty neat function. Alright, the next thing we're going to talk about is how we're going to export to video. Now this is one of the best features of Explain Everything, is that I have the option of exporting straight to YouTube. And that just makes a world of difference whenever I'm talking about having to export something out, because if I get it into YouTube, I can always take that file, I can download it and convert it into an MP4, and then I can embed it pretty much anywhere I want. I can put it in PowerPoint, I can copy the URL, I can copy the HTML code. There's so many things that I can use it for that it just makes it so simple, even though Explain Everything is not compatible with, say, Microsoft products. So if I had a PC and not a MacBook, I couldn't play Explain Everything on it. It would be really difficult, and I'd have to upload a whole bunch of different software, and it would just be a pain. So it's much easier for me just to go to this button here, which has the little movie reel on it, and I can either export my movie to my camera roll, in which case when I go into my photos, it will play as a video. I can export it to YouTube, which is really cool. Like I said, if I have a YouTube account, I sign into my YouTube account, it asks me how I want to save it. Make sure that you always give it a file name. It's going to say educational because Explain Everything is listed as an educational application. So anything that you upload to YouTube from here will say educational on it. And then you'll put your title, and then you'll hit upload. Now, here's one thing about uploading. It does take it can take anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, depending on the size of your presentation. So if you have a really, really long presentation, it's going to take longer because it has to compress all of the slides together with all of the recording, and then it has to export it to a different format. So it does take it a little bit, but if you just set your iPad off to the side, leave it running, you can't log off of the app, so you can't hit the home button to get out of this app until it's done downloading. And like I said, the most I've ever had one take is about 15 minutes, so that's not too bad, especially when you're talking about turning in an assignment. Again, you can also export it to a Dropbox, Evernote, the web. There's so many different places that you can put it that it's pretty cool. Alright, the last thing that we want to make sure that we do is we always want to save our project. This application, unlike Notability and Pages and some of the other apps, does not autosave. So you have to be really careful when you go to close out of this application, and make sure that you go to the File section here, right there, and that you click the Save button and name your project. Don't just leave it blank, because then you're going to have a whole bunch of blank projects and you're not going to know which one is which, especially if you're using this a lot and you decide that you really like it. It also has an another export function there, so you can go back and it'll ask you if you want to export to your pictures or to YouTube or whatever. But always try to export from the two I already showed you. It makes it a lot easier. So you're going to click this save button. You're going to enter a project. You're going to enter your project name. Sorry, backwards. Enter your project name. Click your save button, and then it's going to show up as saved down here. So it's going to say Project X or whatever you name it. And so it will show up, and all of your saved projects will show up in this bar. So when you go to the home page, which is right here, it will show up on your home page, which is nice. Then you can reopen it if you need to, if you decide you want to change something or something didn't work out quite right for you. That's how you do it, and it makes it really, really nice. This is one of my favorite apps to use. I like it. I like the video. I like that it's interesting. I like that you can make it interactive, and most of all, it's fun.